Hey, Service Nation, good to be with you today. We are the Monday after 4th of July, so happy Independence Day for our American friends. That said, let's dive into what we're going to talk about today, which is $1 million service business hiring. If you guys and gals have been in the service business any amount of time, you know that hiring is huge, right? If we can get that knocked out, life can be good. If we can't, it's tough, right? And the good news is really from an overview standpoint, there's really just three things in any business, certainly in the service business. We've got to get the clients, we've got to be able to provide the service, which is holistically, 80% of that is doing the hiring and making sure you have trained people. And then we've got to count the money. That's really it. So we're going to talk a lot about those themes over and over and over again because it's everything. Jessica Agate here. Yay. So excited. I think you and I are going to talk. I know we're talking this week, sister. So looking forward to it. Okay. Let's dive into hiring. My first service business was a Service Master commercial cleaning company. And I found out quick, early, and often how important and what a big deal hiring was. For some of you guys that have listened to the show and know my story, I bought that thing. To be able to be qualified, you had to go do a 2-week training in Memphis, Tennessee, which was awesome because I'd never been to Memphis. I was so young and broke. I'd never been to a Benihana's before. I was very fancy that we all went out to Benihana's one. I was like, ooh, look at living the life. I was very impressed. 21-year-old or 20-year-old Mike was very impressed with the Benihana's. Anyway, the deal that we had with the guy is the seller that I bought the franchise from is he was gonna kind of run the company for me while I went to training in Memphis, which I did. So funny too. The first week was like we're all in suits and ties in this fancy like kind of training center. I'm furiously taking notes and like feeling like it was just the best stuff since sliced bread, although it was probably like business 101. And then the second week, it's like, all right, suits off. We're like stripping floors and cleaning toilets. So we all went from like fancy business owners to learn how to, strip floors and clean toilets. Anyway, so when I got back, I think I came back like on a Sunday night. And Monday morning, the business was mine, right? It had been mine before, but I hadn't run it. I was in this training, I was hadn't had any problems yet. It was just like, what's going to happen? And so I was super excited to have my first day of like, I'm actually going to make money owning a business, right? I never had that before. And I went out to my door and this is late 90s, guys, like 20 years ago, because I'm 100 years old. There was a yellow sticky on my door and it just said, "We quit, the employees." That was it. And I think there was only like 3 or 4 of them. I think there's 4. And I only met them once for like 10 minutes and they all seemed like perfectly lovely people. So I still to this day have no idea. I feel like the owner might have like turned them against me or something, but I don't know why I would because I owed him a bunch of money. Obviously we put some money down. I owed him more over time. So I don't know why he would try and screw me, but can't think of any other reason. I met the employees were great. Had no problem with them, but apparently they had a problem with me. I don't know what it was. Anyway, that was my entree into employees. They all quit on the first day. So I was like, wow, this is harder than I thought it was going to be. And we hired him back, and I won't even tell you how I did that because it was basically, and again, those of you watching the video now see my old catcher mitt face. We're like, hard to believe, but when I was 22, I had a baby face, so I looked like I was 16. And I still remember it was Grand Junction, Colorado, in the Puffer Belly restaurant. My wife and I went to Vail a couple months ago, and we drove to Grand Junction the first time I'd been back, and we went to that Puffer Belly restaurant. Holy crap, my memory is it was very different than I remembered it. Anyway, I'm 16-year-old looking kid trying to hire like adult people to clean at night. It was bad times, I guess, is a short version. So all that to say, when I sold the business, I remember the guy that was buying the business, and he was like an adult male, probably looking at me as a kid like, "Are you screwing me? Do you have a real business here?" Because we'd grown it from no employees, I think 30. And tripled the revenue, and it was doing really well and making good money. He kept like asking, like, he didn't say this, but the gist of it was, "Are you lying? Are these like the real numbers? Is this thing really doing what you say it is? What I'm paying for?" And I kept telling him, "Dude, I wish I could remember the guy's name." I kept telling him, "I promise you, the numbers are the numbers. That's absolutely correct. There's not a false thing in there." But it sucks. I could be warned. It sucks. You get people calling, because we had restaurants that were 7-day-a-week cleans, and we couldn't be in there till like midnight or something to start cleaning. So I'd get calls, and my life was a mess. The employees had taken over. I was being held hostage by my own successive employees, constantly like screwing up or needing me 24/7. I remember the guy like, "Are you sure this thing's making real money? You're not screwing me, are you?" I'm like, dude, I'm so out of this thing. You're going to hate it. All you care about is the money. You're going to be happy, but your life's going to suck. And I never heard. I don't know. I don't know if he. I don't know how he did with it, or even if I had, I don't remember. So maybe he figured out the employee thing, but I did not. And I was to the point where I was almost afraid to get a new customer because I didn't know if I could handle the work or the stress, and it was terrible, right? And I tried paying more. I tried fancy employee handbooks that they had to sign that lined out all the rules. I tried begging them to refer their friends and family, asking my friends and family. I even thought about calling competitors to see. I was desperate to get people, and it was all the wrong thing. Not one of it was right. We're going to figure out how to do it right today. But the thing is, lack of qualified employees was keeping my ability and even my desire to grow to stand still, right? Like when I sold it, I'm glad this guy didn't know. I probably would have taken a nickel. We got a lot of money for it, but I was so done with it emotionally. It was all from this one problem, right? So that was killing everything else. All right, let's talk about how to figure it out. Before we do, if you are digging the show, if you're getting value, let me know by subscribing, rating, reviewing, referring the show. We built our other podcast, Grow My Cleaning Company, completely on word of mouth. That's how we're going to do this one. So if it is bringing value, share with your friends, owners of service companies that want to grow and are working too hard and need help and want to do less and make more and grow faster. Let them know. Turn them on to the show. If not, I guess I'll just be sad and we'll go away. But if you're digging it and you want more, let us know by subscribing, rating, reviewing so we can do more content, better content, more money, all that good stuff. All right. So that said, my discovery of the right way to hire, because again, when I sold that, I did not know that. I literally sold a very healthy, nice little business. I wish I still had it, man. If I knew what I know now, then I could have just run it kind of part time without doing all the work. It'd be a great little business to have. Anyway, my discovery of the right way to do it was born out of pain and suffering. And I don't love sharing a story because it's painful, but I love thinking that I can save you guys the pain and suffering that I went through. So we'll give you a bonus lesson, then we'll give you the employee lesson. I figured all this stuff out when my wife of 8 years, and this is 10 years ago or 15 years ago. I've been married now for 10 years to my lovely Natalie. So don't think this is not her. This is my ex-wife. So for the first 8 years, the entire 8 years of our marriage, I think I paid more attention to the business and I was a lot more focused on that. And just probably not a great husband. If you ask my ex-wife, she'll tell you definitely not a great husband. Although I feel like she is a pretty good woman. Very nice lady, and the mother of my firstborn, Caleb. So anyway, after all of that bad husbandry and really focusing a lot on the business and not giving my family the time and attention they needed, she left. And I was devastated. I am we get married for life. That's it. I never thought I'd be divorced ever my whole life. I just probably would never, I don't know. I can't think of anything Natalie could do to make me divorce her. So she left and I was a wreck. I was done. For the first time in my life, I had no interest in going to work. So I went from not giving my family the time that they needed to, because of this business, to not being able to care less about the business. So by necessity, I had to create a work environment that a broken guy like me, by the way, don't believe the rumors. Not only is divorce not good for the soul or for you as a human being, it's not great for the checkbook. So it's not like, well, I finally lost the wife, but I was able to pursue my business and make a bunch of money. I was broken, and it was bad on every aspect, financially, spiritually, emotionally, not good. So I was such a mess. I had to create an environment that even a broken guy like me could thrive in. My beliefs up until that point were everyone just wants to be a part of a big professional company, right? I always try to make myself look and feel bigger than I was, right? Or at least my company. I thought everyone just went to where the most money was. And those beliefs, like nothing in the world, just that actual belief crushed my ability to grow a team. I just couldn't, but with this divorce, the problem was I couldn't make what I needed to make to pay my child support and my alimony on my own. Right? Like I didn't know how to do the work I had a construction company. I didn't do that stuff. So being able to hire a team was all that stood between me and jail, right? Because you don't pay alimony, you don't pay child support. They threw your butt in jail. So, and I couldn't make the money on my own. So I needed a team, right? Like I desperately needed a team, as much or more so than when my first team quit, 10 years ago or however long prior that was. Okay. So here's the opportunity for you guys. Being stuck between the rock and the hard place, the rock of having to earn money and the hard place of having no desire to leave my house or the fetal position for that matter, was extremely painful. Do not recommend. So the bonus lesson you guys and gals are getting, if you are married and thinking, you know what, I think I'll divorce, it'll be better, it'll be less painful. From all of my experience and my beliefs biblically, do not recommend. I would encourage you to do whatever you can to make that relationship work. That said, like every pain I've found in my life, there's opportunity, right? And again, please don't hear me saying it was a good thing. It was not. But there was an opportunity to give me what I'd want in my business life, and figuring out how to actually build a team. Because again, if I had to build a place where I could work and I was just a mess, I found that the place that I built was more transparent, more real, based on my core values, and it was very attractive to people, right? So for the first time in my life, it wasn't about getting as big as I could and growing as fast as I could. It was about enjoying what I did while I worked and the people I worked with, right? I just had to move from this big professional company. I couldn't fake it anymore. That competed on pay and benefits, which was a game I could never win that game, right? Like there's always going to be someone, as we're small businesses until you get to like that $10-20 million revenue, maybe you're one of the bigger service companies in your town. There's always going to be someone that can pay more for employees, outcompete you on benefits, and even then, that's not how we want to compete, right? So I went from kind of that mindset of I got to be big and professional, and the only way I can get good people is to pay more. Like I said, a game I couldn't win, to creating amazing experience in a community and something that people want to be a part of. And when I did that, I realized no one else could compete with me on that, right? So we coach a lot of owners of cleaning companies who are like, oh, it's tough because there's a call center in town. They pay $14 an hour with benefits or whatever. I can't compete with that. The beautiful thing is the call center can't compete with the culture that you can create, right? The desire of people like, I like this community. I want to be here. This is a special place. The call center people cannot do that. And I promise you, this is what I learned in that painful thing. Good people will go not always to where there's the most money. You have to pay them fair. You can't screw them. But typically they'll take a better situation for less money, right? But you have to be able to create that better situation. So at the time I did this, I felt something cool going on. There's definitely power to this, and others were coming around going, show me how you do this. How did you do this? Like, it was kind of making a stir a bit. But I didn't know how to do it on purpose, right? So I couldn't really teach other people how to do it. I just knew what I had was special, but I didn't know why or how. Looking back, I was able to develop a strategy, a system to do this in every company I've had since, right? So we could do it on purpose, and that's what I want to share with you today. So it's really just three simple steps, not easy steps, but simple steps. No one's going to go, that's too complex for me, I don't get it. They might go, I don't want to put in the work, but then everyone will get it. So step one, get clear on your core values, what you believe. For us, it's have fun, make money, be real, and help out. So you've got to get crystal clear on the core values. And those are the rules that we're going to play by, right? So when you hire somebody or you even start working with a client, you can go, these are the rules we have to play by. These are my rules. And if you like these rules, oh, my phone is ringing. We're going to ignore it because you people are more important. I was in a meeting with Joe Arpaio, our sheriff here in Phoenix. He's kind of famous or infamous around the country. And there was like 100 of us in the meeting. He was up front speaking, and his phone rang. He literally picked it up in front of all of us, started talking. It was his Cadillac dealer's. Cadillac was ready from getting its service done. I can't remember if I thought he was a total jerk for doing that or like the coolest guy I met. I think he was probably a jerk, but anyway, I think of that story every time my phone rings and I'm addressing a crowd. One of these days I'm going to pick it up and just start talking, just to be like Joe, see if anyone throws anything at me. All right, so getting clear on your core values are really the rules that you're going to play by, right? And I found it's a fool's errand to try and find people that don't share your values and bend your core values to them. You'll be very miserable, or bend their core values to you. So as opposed, we're going to find people, we're going to get clear on these core values, then we're going to communicate those core values, not just to our team, but to customers and employees and prospective customers and prospective employees. And you've done it right, as Vern Harnish said. When you walk in on your employees and they're mocking you, they're doing have fun, make money, like they're trying to do the Mike voice or whatever your name is, the voice doing your core values, then you've nutted and you're there. And then the third piece is make sure that those are consistent for every step of every stakeholder's journey. So whether it's a vendor or a customer or an employee or a prospective one of any of those, you're consistent throughout, right? So if you have a super fun and cool website, but when people come see you, you're a pain in the butt, that doesn't work, right? Or if you've got a cool message on your phone machine that's funny and people like it, but then your website's super uptight, it's got to be all consistent. So let me go over all of these steps in detail as it refers to your hiring process, right? So step one, get clear on your core values. If you aren't clear, you can't communicate them. Step two, communicate them over and over and over and over again to everyone and anyone who will listen until the day that you die or sell the company. And step three, make sure that your company is consistent with these core values. It's just not parts of it, right? Little insider baseball. I've had the same core values for my last 4 or 5 companies. So don't be like, oh, my customers want efficiency, so my core value is going to be efficient. That's not how it works. Your unique selling proposition, some of the things that you do, your offerings, how you do it, lots of things are going to be based on what your customer wants. Core values are not. They're who you are, right? So one of my core values is be real and have fun. So say I found that owners of service companies were super not into fun, and they thought all my silliness and telling you stories about Joe Arpaio were a waste of their time, and they hated it. I could try and pretend to be someone different and try and fool you guys, and I'm just not that good, and you guys are too smart. You'd figure it out. So I just have to be real and go, here's who I am. Typically what will happen is there's no whole group of people that are going to love or hate, right? Within Service Nation, there's going to be people that really dig the real and who I am, and they're attracted to that, and then it's going to make it very hard for anyone else to compete with me because they can't be me. Another group are going to go, I'm not really liking that. I think it's stupid and foolish and whatever, and that's fine. There's probably someone else that's going to be a better fit to help those people. Either way, step 1 is to get clear on what they are. Step 2 is to communicate them. Step 3 is make sure there's consistency throughout your company. And we don't have time to get into what that looks like company wide. We do have time to get over what that looks like in your hiring funnel. So let's do it. First step of the funnel is the hiring ad. Oh boy, having coached hundreds of people through this, we found that moving from a boring hiring ad, which is, and again, you don't have to raise your hand out there, Service Nation, but you can kind of inside go, oh, he got me. If your ad sounds something like Mike's HVAC company is hiring. If you're looking for competitive pay, get paid to learn, fast growing company that loves hard work and is blah, 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 blah. I got bored even trying to make it up. That's so many what people do, right? And the problem is everybody does it. So now everybody's ad's effectively the same. So what do they have to make a decision on? Now it is by price. Now it is by what they're going to pay, right? So if every ad's the same effectively, they are going to go with where the highest pay is, right? But if your hiring ad is based on your core values, ours is about having fun, making money, being real, and helping out. We are this kind of real, this is who I am, Mike, that you get here. Guess what? The hiring ad's written the same way. People read it and they meet me and they go, holy crap, you're the guy that wrote the hiring ad, right? And it's like, yep, absolutely. So you start there. Here's the trick. It's easy to change, and you want to do a core values based hiring ad. That's one of the things we walk our clients through. It's easy to make that change to your hiring ad, but if you don't make the change, if you don't make a change to the rest of your system, it's not going to work. It's even worse because they see the hiring ad, they're like, oh my gosh, this guy gets me. And they go to the rest of the process and like, it was a scam, right? Because they've been burned before. They've been kind of sold on this cool environment and they found it's not. So you're not going to fake it. You're going to be that way for real. So the hiring ad is where you start with your core values. First of all, you got to be clear with them. And then how we communicate them is the hiring ad, your website, right? So if the tone and temperament of your hiring ad is having fun, making money, being real, and helping out, of course, you're going to put in your core values, not mine. But if your hiring ad is that way and your website's super professional and the opposite, it's not going to work, right? Or if you're hiring a super professional and that's who you are, and then you let some marketing yahoo like me make your website all fun, but that's not who you are, it's incongruous, right? So you've got to be consistent for your hiring ad, the website, the follow-up sequence, right? You want to have an automated, and this is another thing we train our system, is you want to have an automated follow-up sequence to get the people that applied to your ad to actually show up to the interview process. That has got to be written in the same tone with the same core values, everything else. All of your interviews, right? We recommend a 3-interview process. And don't worry, it's systematized, so it's super easy and doesn't take more than an hour or two of your 3 or 4 hours of someone's time per week, not yours. Those have to be based on core values, right? So especially when you start getting to the point where you're only a part of the interview process, which you want to happen as soon as possible, like up to 50 people. It'd be nice if you were involved and you kind of met everybody that came in, but an hour of your time a week kind of a thing. And beyond that, you may not meet any of them. So it's really important that everybody that's in the interview process is living your core values, right? Because if you're all in living it, but then they talk to an interviewer who is not, we've got a disconnect. The onboarding and training, really crucial, right? The last thing you want them to do is kind of say, I'm in, I want to be a part of this community, this team. And then they start and they're like, they feel baited and switched. Like, oh my gosh, the whole process was so cool and so it resonated with who I am, and I thought I found my people, and then now it's just another crappy job, right? And then here's where I don't say the hard part comes, but you have to create some systems to make sure this happens. You need to make sure that stays with day-to-day life, right? So once they're trained and on board, you want to make sure that they are loving being a part of it. I'll tell you, this is where you'll get so many referrals and you'll get the best people. And one of my favorite guys on our team, Jared, wasn't even looking. He's our paid traffic guy. He's very, very good. He spent millions of dollars of money on Facebook. That's what he was doing. He applied for a enrollment coach position with us just because he loved the ad. He didn't even have any skill. And he's just like, I love these people because he's a huge core values match, and we love him. I believe he loves being here, and I know we love having him. So really important that, and again, he feels hopefully that his experience has been here is exactly what he thought it would be in the hiring ad, because it's been consistent the whole way through. So again, very simple, but not easy, right? You've really got to, and that's why these core values have got to be you. If I had to fake it and try to be this person that's not me for Jared or for my team or for you guys every day, you would find me out instantly, right? So it's easier just to be like, I'm just going to be me. You guys, the people that are attracted will come along, and I can just relax and be me. And the people that aren't attracted, fantastic. I never talk to them. So this will give you not only the ability to increase your revenue and your profits, but it gave me my freedom back, and should give you your freedom. It'll give you your love of business back, turning employees from this necessary evil that you kind of like, when they text or call, to this group of people that you're really excited to do life with, right? And it's allowed us to help companies all over the world get their passion for their business back, build teams of employees that love and feel like this is something special. I've never found something like this ever, right? And they're part of the community. So not only did this help me pay the bills back when I absolutely desperately needed a team, more importantly, transform me as a leader from a guy that had to always be faking it for everyone. Let's be professional. Let's pretend like we're this. Let's act like we're this, to just being able to be like, I'm me. That's how I am. And I'm going to do the best, and I'll screw up all the time, but I'll try and make it right. And I'll never lie to you on purpose. And just allowed me to really step into my own skin, which people are attracted to. So I promise you, with all your warts and ugliness, is going to be much more attractive than this fake you that you think people want. They're repulsed by that. So, all right, hopefully this made sense. It came together. Like I said at the beginning, if you are getting value and you want more value, this whole community is just built to help owners of service company do less, grow faster, build amazing teams, do something special. If you would, that's who you are, and you're like, yes, this is what I want out of life. Subscribe, rate, review the podcast, refer to other owners of service companies that you know need help. And you know what? Just message me on Instagram. You can follow us at instagram.com/grow my service company. Just message me, subscribed. I'll send you a copy of my book, I'm a Freaking Genius. Why is this business so hard? Just to thank you for subscribing, rating, and reviewing. If you want even more, join our Facebook group to get access to my book when it comes out here in a couple weeks. Everything you need, go to growmyservicecompany.com. That's where everything's at. And say hey to me on Instagram. Tell me you subscribed. We'll shoot you a copy of my current book, I'm a Freaking Genius. Why is this business so hard? Can't wait to hear from you, Service Nation. Appreciate you. Be here tomorrow to serve. See you.